Friends, our story begins on a lonely seashore, where a broken old man is talking to his lost wife in the darkness. There is only one pain in his eyes. The ocean took his woman away from him. One moment she was laughing, sunlight shining in her hair, and the very next moment she disappeared somewhere beneath the waves. He tells himself that the ocean takes whatever it wants and leaves everyone else behind to collect the broken pieces. But he is not the ocean. He is a human being, and a human being does not forget revenge. This is where the foundation of his vengeance is laid. Then a flashback begins. The same man is on vacation with his wife. Suddenly, a deep red wave of blood spreads underwater, and his wife is dragged down by something beneath the surface. Terrified, he immediately jumps into the water and keeps calling her name again and again, but all he finds is emptiness. His wife has vanished. Now the scene shifts to a grand wedding celebration. Friends, this is where our two main characters appear. Tina and Tom, a newly married couple. Tina's father gives a heart-touching speech. He admits that, at first, he had doubts about Tom, a successful investment banker who also volunteers for needy children and has worked for the environment. In the beginning, all of this felt too perfect to him, almost like a red flag. But when Tina broke her leg during a hiking trip, and Tom carried her half a mile all the way back to the car, that was when he believed this love was real. He expresses pride in his daughter, repeats a family motto that means courage and stability, and gives them a gift with one message: never give up on love. But even in the middle of all this happiness, a small crack can be felt. Tina does not seem okay, and the next morning, this doubt becomes clear. Open tension appears between Tom and Tina. Tom says he has nothing left to say, and it becomes clear that something between them has already broken. Just then, Tina's friends arrive. Rick, who is Tom's best man, and her friends Sadie, Brittany, and Richinda. Rick wants to take everyone on a catamaran boat trip as his wedding gift. Tom clearly tries to avoid it. He hates the ocean, gets seasick, and once spent months on a boat only to stop illegal whaling. On top of that, Tina does not even know how to swim, and he is scared of what might happen if she falls into the water. Rick insists that it is just a few hours of touring and tells him not to worry. In the end, everyone agrees. Everyone boards a boat named the Tipsy Mermaid, which is operated by Captain Mackey. In the lighthearted atmosphere, sharks are mentioned, but the captain assures them that there has never been a shark attack in these waters. As soon as they reach the open water, the tension in their relationship starts coming out. Tom privately tells Tina that he does not want to continue this marriage. Tina replies that she still loves him and asks for a little more time. This is where the first major reveal happens. We learn that Tina is being made a partner at her firm, and along with that, she has been given a major account from an oil company called GoPac. GoPac wants to secure drilling leases in Alaska, the exact thing Tom has spent his entire life fighting against. The firm has told Tina that if she gets these leases approved, she will be made partner directly. For Tina, the issue is not that simple. She hesitates because the land is being sold by indigenous people who desperately need that income. But Tom is not ready to compromise on this matter at all. Because of this conflict, both of them are thinking about getting their marriage annulled. Things get even worse when Rick secretly overhears the entire conversation and spreads it among the rest of the group. Sadie even tells Tina to her face that Tom is too good and too decent for her, and that Tina will never be happy with someone like him. Just then, the boat is hit by a powerful jolt, as if it has crashed into a rock. Suddenly, Captain Mackey falls into the water. Everyone panics and throws him a rope, trying to pull him back up. But when he comes up, he is badly torn apart and covered in blood. While struggling in pain, he manages to say only one thing: there is a shark below. When everyone rushes toward the radio for help, they find out that it is broken. There is no signal. Then someone finds a flare gun, but before they can fire it properly, it falls away. Meanwhile, things get even worse. Tina, who does not know how to swim, falls into the water. Without thinking for even a second, Tom jumps into the terrifying water and saves her. But then everyone's soul trembles with fear. The same shark starts circling around all of them. Then the boat catches fire and it looks like it is about to explode. To save their lives, everyone jumps into the water. Right at that moment, a stranger's small boat comes near them, and that man saves them one by one from drowning. As soon as they get on his boat, the man confirms that it was a great white shark, a monster that should not even be in these waters. Everyone thanks him. He tells them that a storm is moving toward the shore, so taking them straight back to their resort would not be safe. Instead, he says he will take them around to a distant port, which will take a few hours, and he will also inform the Coast Guard. But from the very beginning, Tina feels that something is not right. She is suspicious of this man, the huge shark cage on his boat, the strong smell of fish, and his strange, silent behavior. The others try to make her understand that, after all, this man just saved their lives. And because of this, a small rich versus poor type argument also starts between him and Tina. The man gives everyone food, without any softness, simply telling them to take it, and then reveals his name, Roy. Friends, this is where we slowly begin to understand that he is the same nameless, broken man from the beginning of our story. During the journey, some important layers of the relationship start opening up. Tom and Tina talk about their marriage, the clash between Tina's career ambition and Tom's rigid thinking about right and wrong. Tina clearly says that she does not want to live as a burden on any man. She has worked her entire life to stand on her own feet. Just then, Roy interrupts and gives Tina advice about marriage. He says love is easy, but marriage is not. The things that are real and long-lasting are built only when two people survive difficult times together. He also mentions that he was once married too, and that his wife is somewhere out there waiting for him. And then he says something that will carry a much deeper meaning later. A person never understands the true value of something until they lose it. Things begin to change when Rick gets irritated and asks Roy where exactly he is taking them, because for hours there has been no sign of land. Where is his GPS? Where is his map? Roy, in a completely cold tone, simply tells him to sit down. Slowly, everyone starts feeling strangely weak and dizzy, and then the truth becomes clear. Roy had drugged everyone's food and drinks. One by one, they all fall unconscious. When they open their eyes, all of them are tied up, and their blood runs cold when they see Brittany locked inside the shark cage. Tom keeps begging Roy again and again to let her go, but Roy does not listen at all. He starts lowering the cage into the water, using Brittany as bait in front of that bloodthirsty shark. Brittany's screams echo everywhere, while the rest of the friends helplessly watch. After a while, Roy pulls her out of the cage. Everyone starts screaming at her to swim back toward the boat. She fights for her life and starts swimming. She even reaches very close to safety. But right then, the shark comes back and turns Brittany into its prey. Roy shows no regret at all. He only says that this one was wasted. Then he reminds the others that the cage is much safer than these deadly waters, and if they keep obeying him, maybe a few of them might make it back home alive. Roy turns around and asks who should be next. That is when they realize that Richinda is having an allergic reaction to the drug, and her condition is getting worse very quickly. Tina gathers courage and asks Roy why he is doing all this. And this is where the biggest twist of the movie is revealed. And this whole story is actually a story of revenge. Roy tells them that 5 years ago, a shark just like this one tore his wife, Nikki, apart right in front of his eyes while they were on vacation. Since then, he tagged that shark and has been following it across the Pacific for years. He tried dead fish, pieces of marlin, and every kind of dead bait. Then he tried bigger fish, seals, and even cats and dogs. But the shark reacted only to live prey. Roy realized that once a shark tastes human flesh, something inside it changes forever. Because of this belief, Roy has been using people as bait, people who had no one looking for them, lost and abandoned people. But yesterday, when he saw this wedding party, helpless on a burning boat, he found a ready-made buffet. Without shame, he says that even though these rich, arrogant people would not have been his first choice, they will still serve his purpose for now. Tina connects one more piece of the puzzle. She asks why that shark came so far north in the first place. Roy gives them a cold warning. He says that if they keep doing exactly what he says, then maybe some of them will make it home alive. Then, another officer arrives on a different boat, asking about a missing wedding party, a catamaran with around 7 people that never returned last night. Roy threatens Tina and forces her to pretend to be his partner and lie to the officer. He even calls her by a fake name. The officer becomes suspicious and asks Tina where her husband is. Tina nervously makes an excuse, but the officer's suspicion keeps getting stronger. Now the officer's suspicion slowly turns into certainty, but before he can do anything, Roy kills him too. Tom sees an opportunity and tries to attack Roy, but Roy throws him into the water. Then Roy takes control of everyone again. With a completely cold heart, he says, "Well, One more passenger problem is gone. Meanwhile, Roy realizes that the shark is nearby, so he gets ready to throw Richinda in front of it. Just then, Tina calls out to him and distracts him. At that exact moment, Richinda jumps off the boat. The shark starts chasing her. She tries desperately to escape from it, but then Roy starts the boat and runs it right over her. Now Tina plays one final move. She discusses the entire plan with Sadie, how both of them will free Rick, how the knife will be used, and explains everything in detail. From here, the survivors' real counterattack begins. As soon as they get a chance, they free each other from their restraints and secretly get hold of a knife. First, Tina fights with Roy, then Rick arrives. Just when it seems like one of them is about to die, the shark comes from behind and takes Rick away. Roy then taunts them again and asks who is going into the cage next. Tina shows courage and steps forward. She is ready to go into the cage herself so Sadie can get a little time to survive. Roy locks her inside and prepares to lower her into the water. Meanwhile, Tom secretly reaches the boat's radio and contacts dispatch for help. He gives them his name. He begs them, saying that a madman has taken his wife hostage on the boat. He pleads with them to follow the boat and reach wherever it is heading. He gets a reply that help is being sent, but they also warn him that a civilian should not try to drive the boat himself. A path to rescue has finally opened, but there is very little time left. Things become even more terrifying when Tina is being lowered into the water, and the danger of her drowning begins to rise. Just then, Tom goes underwater and manages to save his wife. Now the survivors decide that they will end this monster once and for all. Roy comes forward again, and everyone opens the fight against him together. The three of them manage to catch Roy. They tie him up with a rope for the final fight. In the final confrontation, Roy pulls out a gun. He says that once someone gets a taste for blood, it becomes hard to let go. At that moment, Tina throws a gas cylinder toward him. Roy falls into the water, but now the tables have turned. Tina tells Sadie to drive the boat. Sadie somehow takes control of the helm and pushes the throttle forward. Roy ends up in the same water, in the hands of the same monster, facing the fate he had been chasing for years. His helpless cries for help are now completely useless. After the storm, a strange calm spreads everywhere. Tom finds something, maybe the same sign or symbol, and tells Tina that he always knew she would come back. The surviving friends hold each other tightly, and then, in the distance, rescue boats can finally be seen approaching. In the end, the news reports the tragedy, a great white shark attack on a wedding party in the middle of the ocean. And here, Tina's entire character arc comes full circle. The same Tina who was once ready to take Gopak's account now stands in front of the camera and blames climate change and big companies like Gopak. She holds them responsible for ignoring their impact on the environment. She knows this may put her own job at risk, but even then, she chooses to speak the truth, hoping that maybe together, people can change something. Authorities believe that the victims' bodies were most likely swallowed by the shark. Friends, CHUM is not just the story of a shark. It is like a mirror. On one side, there is Roy, whose grief turned into such a fire of revenge that he became just like the monster he wanted to destroy. On the other side, there is human greed and carelessness, warming oceans and predators wandering into unknown territories, which became the real root of this entire disaster. So the question is, when revenge turns a human being into a monster, who is the real devil? The shark or the pain we refuse to let go? Make sure to share your opinion in the comments.